guys, I just thought I would do a tour of the gardens for you. I'm not sure if it's going to take more than one video, but we'll give it a go. I'm running a bit late, so I'm kind of dashing in between waiting for the washing to come out. I haven't even had my coffee yet, but we'll give it a go. Behind me we've got the door to the greenhouse. Probably hear the blackbird going crazy because she's got 2 fledglings flying around in there at the minute. So I'll switch them out of the camera and we'll head on into the greenhouse to begin with. Okay, here we are in the small greenhouse, our only greenhouse at the moment, but we will have a large one eventually. There's very little in here this year. We haven't done a huge amount in the garden at all. Our priorities have been different this year. My husband's priority has been the building work on the roof of the barns, because he's doing that all himself, and mine has been basically setting up the business and just keeping things on track really. So I've grown a few things but not a huge amount. At the moment we have fledglings in here. This is actually, I made a video when I mentioned about not letting your blackbirds nest in your potting shed, but she managed to fledge 4 in the first batch, and she was on the nest before I realised it and hatching out a second batch. So she's hatched another 4 and there's still 2 in here. They're flying around in our potting shed, which is actually an old air raid shelter. In fact, it's on old war maps marked as air raid shelter. It's made of reinforced concrete, but I don't know if you can see them flying around in there. Let's see. They're up there. Oh! But they've made an absolute mess, so I won't be going in there. Ooh. Right, okay. In here, I've got one lonely squash plant, well, courgette plant. It's the only one that survived, but it's doing okay. And hopefully I'll get some courgettes off that. I've got my tomatoes. I've got some quick growing early type tomatoes in here. I can't remember what the varieties are. I'll look them up and I'll put them on the screen on the video, but we have a bush variety of these ones over here, and they grow like stuff like a salad size tomatoes, you know, regular size. And then these vine ones here, they are a orange cherry tomato. Again, I can't remember the variety, but we have got some fruit coming on, which is great because I've never had much luck with tomatoes in here. The problem with this greenhouse is, although that's south, so we get all the sun, we have a lot of trees and everything surrounds it, so it doesn't get any of the morning sun, it doesn't get any of the evening sun, it only gets the middle of the day. And once we get to July, we get a lot of rain and it gets quite damp in here. Last year I actually put a lot of grass clippings down in the beds at the bottom, and that kept the humidity down a huge amount. I haven't done this year, but I think I'm going to have to. It's starting to feel not dry enough in here, so next time husband mows the drive, I'll have to commandeer the clippings. So I've got a load of seed. I've grew a lot of old seed to basically, oh, gone out of focus, a lot of old seed to use it up this year. So there's all sorts of annuals and stuff. Not many have germinated because they are old seed, but what there is, I'm going to shove out there and hope for the best. We've got some, what have we got in here? We've got some weeds, but we've got some lupins in there. They're perennial lupins, so I'll pop them on, ready for planting out either later in the year or later in the summer or next year. I'm not sure yet. But I'm trying to grow more perennials and fill up the front garden with perennials. Oh, I've got some pinks, I think, in there. That was a meadow mix, so there's all sorts in there. We've got some sunflowers to go out. All these are going to be planted out in the next couple of days. What has come up, we've had some really bad weather and some wind, but we're supposed to have some nice weather in the next few days. So some lovely dill. This is very little come up. Most stuff's been planted out. We've got, what have we got in the back there? We've got some cosmos to go out. And there's my soapy water spray. We get a lot of aphids in here. I've got peppers. What else have we got? Some more cosmos, more peppers and chilies. Nothing's come up in it. It's just the old seed, nothing's come up. In the back here, I've got my beans. They've hit the roof now. I'm hoping they should start to produce beans before too long. Again, I'll try and put the varieties up on the screen. And I grew beans in here really successfully last year. So that's why I've kept doing them in here. We don't have much luck outside. It's just too windy. I've planted a load of radishes in the bottom just to use them up. But something has been eating them. I don't know what. In fact, outside, something's been eating everything green. And not just in the garden, but in the wild as well. I don't know what's gone crazy this year. Oh, what's that? we've got something. I'm going to have to look up what they are because they're new. And it's just gone, basically they've bolted. So I'm going to just leave these radishes to flower and produce seed pods, and then you can eat the seed pods in salads. We have got spring onions growing in the front edge. They're doing okay. They're moving them out of the way, so I'll leave them be. But that's all there is in the greenhouse. I've got a polystyrene box over there. I know, it's fascinating. But I got that off a friend. I've got a plan to make a heat sink in here, and I'm hoping that'll help through July and August next year. Because like as we get our best of our weather in June, it gets really hot and dry. And once we get July, August, the weather tends to turn cooler, which is really when you need it to be warmer for the things that are in the greenhouse. Oh, got more tomatoes there. More tomatoes. So we'll head out the green. Oh, we've got a hosta. I grew that from seed. I'm really chuffed with myself growing that from seed. So we'll head out the greenhouse because Mrs. Blackbird is going crazy, and the cat is on the roof. Okay, we'll go out here. Close the door. Make sure the cat doesn't go in there. There's my container for making comfrey tea. Chickens in there. Okay, we've got a huge elder tree which is flowering tons of flowers this year. I'm going to make elderflower things over the next few days as well while the sun's shining. All these front flower beds look really pretty on camera. They're actually really full of weeds. The oxeye daisies grow like a weed. I'm kind of regretting growing them, but there's roses all along the front flower beds through the middle, but you can't really see them. We've basically let the garden go wild. We haven't really bothered too much. These front flower beds are really soul destroying. I weed them out usually every single year, and every year they grow back like this. So until I can fill them with plants, I've just left them basically. We've got our husband's geraniums, and we've got an alder tree my mum fetched. That's grown really well this year. That needs planting out. And what have we got down? We've got some strawberry mint down there, needs planting out. Lots of things to do. So we'll come down the garden. This is the, I guess you'd call it ornamental garden. It doesn't really have a purpose other than to look pretty. We have our circle over there where we got hand fasted. And over here you can see there's the greenhouse with Poppy Cat. So we'll come over here. We've got huge elder tree smothered in blossom this year. I've never seen it doing this. Oh, what's the matter, Poppy? Ah, okay. Greenhouse. Back of the old pig shed. And these here are the old coal frames. Now, instead of using them as coal frames, what we've done is we've planted our fruit trees here. It gets all the sun from the south. Sheltered over there from the east, sheltered in the west. So they do really, really well. They were in pots for a couple of years when we first got. What's the matter, Poppy? They were in pots for a couple of years and never really did anything, but they survived. And last year we planted them at the beginning of the year in here, and we actually got half a dozen apples. But this year they've gone crazy. They're absolutely covered in apples. I don't know if you can see that very well, but they're absolutely covered. This first one is a Braeburn. The second one here is a James Grieve. This third one is another Braeburn. And if I walk around the seat, and this one here is a Bramley, I think. Well, I know it's a Bramley. I think that's the order they're in. And then here we have a plum tree, but the trouble with it is we've had a lot of shoots come up from below the graft, so I need to snip those off, and I'm just going to stuff them in a pot, and if they grow I'll plant them out somewhere, and it's just an extra shrub of some sort. I don't know what it is. It's on pixie rootstock, so if anybody knows what this could be, like which ones are the leaves from the bottom? These ones. So don't know what it is, but it doesn't matter. So we've got, that's a Victoria plum coming off the top of the graft. Like I said, we've just reused the old coal frames, and in the corner here I'm going to carry the wall through, and I should get another 2 fruit trees there. I don't know what yet. We'll just have to see, but that's a year or 2 down the line. This wall just needs finishing, patching up, and then we will string some wires on there and to train the trees, the fruit trees against. We've had all sorts come up in here randomly. We've got foxgloves, we usually get 1 or 2. The seeds, I'll collect that and shove them in the back of the flower bed. We had some beautiful aqualegias. They've all flopped over with the wind now, all the finished flowering. Now that they've gone to seed, before they actually seed, I will dig them out and I'll stick them in the flower bed in a better place. But I don't mind, it's free plants. We've got an elder. That was a broken branch that got knocked off by the builder's lorry, and it grew in the compost, so my husband's put it in there. Nothing ever grows in this corner. We have a dead corner. It's really, really weird. More aqualegia, fire pit. All these trees we've got on the other side of the wall. We've got sycamore, we've got ash, we've got another sycamore, and we've got a fruit tree down the bottom and an elder on the other side. So I've got flower beds, poppies, loads of perennials in here, so they just keep coming back and I don't have to worry too much about it. I intend to fill up the beds completely with perennials, so I basically don't have to do anything. I've got too many vegetables to plant to grow flowers. I'm not going to bother too much with annuals. There'll be 1 or 2, probably like marigolds and stuff, but I just want it to be fairly, look after itself pretty much. So I've got flower beds here, the edge of the circle. We've got more flowers. What we've got catmint and salvias and so on. And my husband's fuchsias. We're into the circle here. They now westerly stone. And we'll go round, more flowers. East. More flowers. What we got? We've got crane's bill and all sorts in here. The bird table. That's the fruit tree. No idea what it is yet. It's never fruited, but it's some sort of fruit tree. Elder on the other side. We'll come round here. What have we got in here? Can't remember what things are called now because I'm on camera. We've got another big ash tree. We've got some. We should have some we've got some feverfew growing here. What else we got? Can't remember what that is. Grasses, rose on the other side there, another unknown fruit tree, the big sycamore, more elder. It's just tons of blossom. There'll be wine and there'll be mead and there'll be syrup and there'll be champagne, lots of things to make. We've got my herb spiral, needs weeding again. The sage has survived yet another year, surprisingly. I cannot recommend herb spiral enough. They are the bee's knees. They are really, really good. I grow things like the dill, the parsley, the coriander, and the sage. The sage does incredibly well on the top of that. It loves it. It loves all the drainage. This purple stuff, which actually started out as a couple of little tiny plants and is smothering everything, so I need to pull a load of that out. Aqualegia, more salvia, weeds, no idea what these are. There was a big catmint plant in there, but it's not come up this year, so I've got a big gap to fill. So we've got more nettles, fascinating but useful. What have we got under here? We've got the steps up. We've also got the lungwort under here. That's finished flowering now. Loads of all these seed pods. They're all from the bluebells. We've got loads of bluebells, loads of snowdrops, and loads of daffodils. Big fuchsia in the corner. Actually, along these front flower beds, the second half is actually full of daffodils in the back. You can't see now because they've died back. And I dug those out of the chicken run. Obviously, we're just going to get scratched up, so dug them out last year and planted them in there, all along the back edge. And that's what I want to do. I'll fill these up with flowers and plants and bulbs and all sorts, and then I don't have to do too much. So I've got a load more to dig out and put in this other front flower bed, but that will be next year now. Oh, puppy cat. Let's think, what else is on the front garden? I'm definitely going to have to split this into 2 videos. As you can see, we get all the morning sun in the house, which is really, really pretty. The greenhouse only gets mostly in the middle of the day, so the sun is hiding up there somewhere. It's really sheltered. At this time of year, early in the year not so much. Once you get to September, all the leaves get ripped off the trees by the wind, the first storm. So we have a really short growing season. So you've got to be careful what you grow. But the garden's coming along. It's taking quite a long time, but it's slowly getting there. Every year it fills out with some more. Every year there's more plants in it. Every year there's less work to do in it. Although this is the front flower beds are an ongoing battle. And we'll get there eventually. But so we have to prioritise all the time. We've got to prioritise the building work. The roof has been done this year. No, I don't know, 5 years from now maybe we'll actually have more time in the garden. But we'll see how we go. So that's it for this video, because I don't know, we're running quite long on the video now and I don't want to run out of time. I'll make a second video and I'll go around all the vegetable plot and so on. So thank you for watching.